wale ambao wanasema I'm technocratic, I will not campaign, tukutane kwa kiwanja. Tukutane huko. I will wear my sketchers and I will go to every village in this country, talking to Kenyans and seeking their vote and their support so that we can change our country. Jubilee. Because I think you now know what we should be saying these days. I think with you wonderful people, I am going to be spending a lot of my time these days dancing, hanging around with Salome here, and my good friends here. I'm so happy, as you can tell. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to meet you. Dan, thank you so much, my friend. Angel, all of you wonderful people, Banakairu, thank you for organizing this Majus. Joe and all of you, my brothers, Zach, for coming along with us. Thank you so much. Sakuda, I'm very happy that you are here, all the way from Kajiado. And all of you wonderful people who have come here this morning. I'll be very brief. First of all, this is my ideal audience. This is the kind of group of people I like spending time with. Because for you, Vila Munajua, I am not the public relations type, to begin telling stories, lying, using some funny language here. Let's just go straight to things the way they are. Lawi, my brother, thank you for being here. This country belongs to all of us. 70% of our population is 35 years and below. 70% of our population is 35 years and below. What that actually means is that some of the shenanigans and the sarakasi tunaona is done by people, 30% of the population. Now, wakati tumefika, and we have seen a very nice tradition now going on. In Botswana, Wananchi whipped a sitting president there. He couldn't even manage 15% of the sitting population, parliamentary population. The other day, voters in Malawi punished a sitting president and sent him packing. Yani, kama watu wengine wanafanya namna hiyo, ninyi mnafikiri Kenya sisi ndio tutakuja kuwa watu wa kuendeshwa namna hii? We should also be ready to do our part, like the rest of the world is doing, their part in ensuring that their countries are managed properly. So first of all, I am so happy to be here. And Dan, next time, Angel, I want to ask these wonderful people, if each one of you can bring 10 people, next time we have a meeting, we have 500. And then next time I will not come while I'm going to attend a funeral or some other thing. I'll just come to stay the whole day, or even night. Just hang out here, listen to people, get to know each other. Every time I get out, every time I sit here, I get to know many of you individually. Like now, I have now known Salome very well, and we have got a plan here. Next time we are in Naivasha, tutafanya baraza alafu twende kijiji. Na vile mnajua, mimi ni mtu wa kwenda huku mahali mambo iko huko. Sababu so wale ambao wanasema I'm technocratic, I will not campaign, tukutane kwa kiwanja. Tukutane huko. I will wear my sketchers and I will go to every village in this country, talking to Kenyans and seeking their vote and their support so that we can change our country. So, business number one. In line with the decision of the National Delegates Conference of Jubilee last Friday, let us now begin massive registration in Jubilee. Let us revive our membership in Jubilee. And if you listen to the party leader very carefully last week, he said he is handing over the party to young people, to you people. Now, when elections of this party are called, honestly speaking, I pray Jehovah that we get to a point where 2/3 of our people in NEC and all leaders are you, young people. And you are not going to contest those seats if you are not a member. Let us register massively in Jubilee and be ready when elections are held. We started this by the Occupy movement, Occupy Parliament, Occupy. Now let us literally occupy leadership by taking up this position and being there to make decisions on behalf of our people and to ensure that we support our country. So I am very happy about the number of fellow aspirants who are here. When we come next time, we are 500. I'd also like to have a separate meeting with the aspirants so that we also discuss our own things. Vile tutakuja kusaidiana kwa sababu mimi I'm seeking presidency, but if you are looking for a parliamentary seat, a governor seat like Cairo, my brother Dan here, and those of you who are seeking MCA seats, we form a partnership where we work together and support each other as we go forward. So that's what we are going to do. So tuzungumze na watu. This is a time to talk to fellow Kenyans and plead with them that it is within us. We have the capacity to change our country ourselves. We don't need anybody to come from anywhere. Look, I can share with you a very simple experiences. Every ministry I went to, I meet members of the public who always tell me, the troubles of digital migration, and we finally migrated, or the troubles of sorting out examination cheating. Every time I went to some of these departments, people told me, I was in Jogo with Zach, people told me, examination cheating is so interesting in this country. It is a billions industry, people pay money and so on. I said, I will go there and sort it out. That is why I'm being paid. Na tena si kufanya kazi na nusu hivi hiyo style ya tunoma izee ya kukaa huko kunywa chai na mandazi. No. Doing the work myself. Kama nikufungua container, niko hapa. I opened a container here in Kambiamoto at 3 a.m. in the morning, and even the school principals were shocked. I was there at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I did about 10-15 schools across here, making sure that the right thing is done for our children. When there was a problem here in Subuki, I arrived here. We drove right to the middle of the informal settlement area and got to a point where we couldn't even drive because vehicles could not go through. The pathways are very narrow. I told Mutiambai and Kinoti and Kanja, who was the GSU commandant, now the Inspector General of Police, to Tembe na Mugu, because wananchi wanatembeanga hapa na Mugu, and they are the ones we leave. Those are to Tembe. I went to that bishop's house whose daughter had been unfortunately raped by those times, and so on. Then I had Mutiambai that time give me a police officer who's famous for delivery, because tuache mchezo, wananchi wanataka tufanye kazi. Give me a guy who's famous for delivery. Now watu tuonane, because we are here, tunalipwa mshahara so that wananchi live peacefully and go about the activity. Hawezi kutulipa mshahara na napiga story kila siku kuambia watu ma story and so on. And we sorted the problem out. I want to give in this country, there is no challenge we face that we cannot address. There is no problem we face that we cannot resolve ourselves. Hii shida mnaona hapa ya capitation which we have been talking about ni aibu. I'm telling you, 62 years after independence for a country of our size, endowed with the resources that we have, and you can see the nonsense that is going on. We have managed to roll around villages giving people money for empowerment and bribing people, but we don't have money to take to schools for our children. Unashangaa, how do we think? How do we arrive at solutions? And hii mchezo tuwache, and this thing can be sorted out. Because people expect that if we are in leadership, we are there to find solutions to the problems that are there. Lakini tutakaa pamoja na tunatafuta hii kwa heshima, kwa unyenyekevu na kwenda mbele pamoja. So that our friends, even those who are in leadership, understand our problems have nothing to do with, we are not dealing with them as individuals. We are saying this, you have failed to manage. Give us the opportunity, we manage. That's all we are saying. You have failed to manage. Give us the opportunity to manage. And we are promising we will manage better. Number two, tafadhali, let us now drive the voter registration. I agree with what Maju said. Tunaweza kuongea hii maneno kuanzia sasa, kesho kutwa, but if you don't have your vote, the voters in Botswana achieved their dream through the vote. The voters in Malawi have achieved their dream through their vote. Ile itatusaidia because we are a democracy. Ni kura yetu. Sababu hiyo ndio namna ya kuwaweka viongozi ama kuwatoa viongozi. Kwa hivyo tafadhali tufanye kila tuwezalo kuhakikisha kwamba we have registered to vote. I'm told, I've already been told by young people here that IBC is having single registration centers in the constituency. I am going to make proposals to your leaders on how we are going to do this, and even we in Jubilee will find a way of providing support to this. Because I believe in this. Let us not whine and moan. Let us find solutions. You know, one great leader said, don't agonize, organize. Yeah, don't agonize, organize. Tujipange kwa haya maneno. Na tunaweza kujipanga, tuongee na wale wa IBC, na mobilize vijana in one center, 2,000, 3,000, watu wa IBC wanakuja hapo, wana register the whole day. Even if it's a single registration point, akienda from center to center, na sisi we participate and help in mobilizing, we'll get the votes and the numbers that we require. So that tusiwe victims wa kusema tu hawachakuja kwetu, wako mbali. We can work on a program, especially the aspirants who are here. We can work on a program that is facilitating the registration process so that we register many of us as voters. Because let us not complain and blame them. Let us support them to ensure that this is done, because ultimately that is how we will sort out our country. However, there is also something I've heard about ID cards. There are places where people have no ID cards and so on. I will work with the leaders of Jubilee and the leaders of the opposition. We will review that situation in the country. Ikishindikana kama ni Kiswahili inafanywa, people are denied ID cards so that they don't register to vote. We will organize one day to Dachipanga. Yeah. We will organize one day. I think people are not going to play this kind of silly games and go on with it. Yeah. We will organize. People must understand one thing. Kenyans have come to a point where they want to manage their country and they would like their country to be managed sensibly. So those funny games that are being done of registering, I don't know who, and then people every time are making trips to administration centers and they're being told funny stories like, oh, your ID has not come. I mean, tafadhali kwani ID inatolewa mbinguni? Ndio lazima uende kukuta. Hapana bwana. We organize. First of all, the first step is to be orderly, to be focused and respect the institutions. Step 2 is to push to ensure the right thing is done. But step 3, we should not lose our responsibility to demand and force things to be done the right way. Yeah. Kwa hivyo tutakaa chini na wale viongozi wengine wote tukubaliane, tukiona kama hii ni game inachezwa namna hiyo na mchezo wa kuhakikisha kwamba people don't get the IDs, tutajua pia hata sisi tutafanya. Because that is it. Wake up siku moja tutajua vile tutafanya na tutatangaza. Because you see, hatuwezi kupelekwa hivi eti kwa sababu unataka, you want to ensure that these young people don't vote because you know they will not vote for you. So you want to make sure that they don't get ID cards, and you keep lying and pretending about it. You know, the things that people talk about this country that amaze me. You know, how can you talk about printers and they don't know what paper in Kenya 62 years after independence? Unajua hata ujinga unahitaji kuheshimu common sense. Honestly. So hata tufuate sheria vile iko. Tuende step ya kwanza, because we want to be responsible citizens. Tufuate sheria vile iko. Step ya kwanza sisi tuende tutafute vile tunaambiwa. Step ya pili tutumie structures zile ziko to ask the right questions as law abiding citizens. Lakini ikifika step ya tatu kama ni mchezo, sasa surely tutakaa tukichezea namna hiyo? Hapana. Lazima tutajua namna ya kuendelea mbele. Thirdly, nakubaliana wewe, tuheshimiane. That is it, tuheshimiane. Wafanye kazi ya uongozi, sisi tufanye kazi kama wananchi. Yeah, and the responsible citizens, sisi tulipe kodi, tufuate sheria, tuweke amani, hiyo ndio kazi yetu. Lakini hawezi kuwa hizi tufuate sheria na wao ni kutuchezea. Kutufanya kana kwamba watu ni wajinga, eti kwanza kutumia lugha nyingine hapo eti hatuna kitambulisho. Pesa inatoka wapi ya kuonga watu kila wakati in the form of environment? Hakuna pesa ya kuprint kitambulisho. Nyinyi hamjaona watu wakiongwa hapa? Eti environment inatoka wapi pesa ya kuonga watu kila wakati? Hakuna pesa ya kutengeneza kitambulisho. Kwani mnafikiri wananchi sisi ni wajinga hivyo kweli? Hapana. Hiyo Tunawaambia na waelewe, tutafuata sheria, lakini lazima ifike mahali tutasema sasa hapa mahali imefika, tuheshimiane. These are our rights, and we will enforce and demand our rights as we go forward. We are going to be on this train. Nawaomba vijana. Now, let us mobilize. This is our time to mobilize and ensure that our message goes across to the country. I am happy about all the comments that you have given me. My brother, your comments about our presence in social media, I take it in my stride. And that's why I love meetings like this, because you get accurate, reliable, honest. That's why we are a democracy. That's why we chose democracy. That you know, we talk to each other and respect each other as citizens of this country. Kwa hivyo, ndugu zangu na dada, sasa ni wakati wa kwenda kwa hii safari ya kubadilisha nchi yetu. Na safari hii tunaenda inahitaji tushirikiane sisi wote bila kujali kabila, mahali unatoka. You know, when my friend Rotich spoke here from the Ugeto, you know, I keep saying this honestly, and God in heaven will hear. I would like to wake up one morning and my president is a guy from the Ugeto community, or my president is a guy from Samburu, Marsabit, or Rendile, or Pokomo, you know, or Michikenda. Not the question of saying they must come from a particular community because of numerical numbers and strength and so on. You guys have taught all of us a lesson, and you are now redefining Kenya anew. And I agree with your definition of Kenya, that it should be a country where tribe is not an issue. What is important is delivery of services. You know, that people give you a job and you do the job. I ask this question every time. When you are sick, you go to hospital here, umebebwa hapa na gari, hata ambulance. Ukifika pale kwa board, unaanza kuangalia daktari wa kabila yetu wako kwa duty kwanza kabla hujaingia huko. Jamani, hii ni kasumba ya uzee ya zamani. This is not going to help us at all. The one and only one reason why I fought so hard on cleaning up our exam system is because I wanted fairness and objectivity. I've told this story before. I went to a parents' day in one of our girls' schools, and always I used to ask the school principals, please let the children speak, because now this is also about boys. Let us not develop a situation where we raise our children not to speak to us. All the time ni sisi tunaongea, tunakuta hapa watu wakubwa pere watu wasiaza rapa, and then tunaenda. We should also hear what these children are thinking, because they also have thoughts. They are growing up. And one young girl, I think from 3 students in that school, asked me a question, very strong question. Said, Minister, you know, we work very hard. Some of the courses we're interested in the universities have got very few places. People from some schools pay money, and they are the ones who get the A's and the A minuses. By the time the selection happens to universities, those courses are all filled by people from those particular schools who are able to pay for exams and so on. That was one of our children challenging us. You know, honestly speaking, that really pricked my heart. And I said, tumefika hapa. Now our children are asking us, what is wrong with us, essentially. I told her, my daughter, I promise you, I will do everything the Lord will enable me to do to ensure this nonsense is sorted out once and for all. And actually, that is the same promise I can give you, young people. If you give me the opportunity, if I was so lucky and so privileged to win your favor and your vote and your support, to be your leader, I will do everything the Lord will enable me to do to ensure that some of these silly things you see around here don't happen in our country. Because God has blessed us enough, given us enough capacity to live in a country where you're happy, you feel satisfied, you go about your activities, you grow your barethram, very happy about what that gentleman said about farming, and you engage in your farming activities and succeed. There is no reason why you should be disadvantaged on account of where you come from, on account of where you are born, on account of whether you are a boy or girl. Those types of things should not matter now. And let us go forward and work that way. Even us in the opposition, and the number of my colleagues, and I know people of Kenya have been wondering, why are there a lot of arguments in the opposition and so on? I say, actually, for me, I look at them from a positive side. That you see, first we chose democracy, which means it's good to be in a country where you can choose to belong to a particular party and say that I am in Jubilee. My brother Zach here, who sits here, is a member of PNU. And we are very, very good friends. I do not see anything in this world that would affect my friendship with Zach because he's in PNU, now I'm in Jubilee. And the other people who are in other parties, Kenyans. The more we are at the table when we come to discuss the better, we build alignment and consensus, not because we have no differences. No, in spite of our differences. We will have differences of opinion, differences of perspectives, different ways of looking at things, but we sit together. If I took a survey here, some of you are Catholics, some of you are Protestants, some of you are Muslims. Why would that affect whether or not we are able to sit in one room and discuss the affairs of our country? So, to build even unity and cohesion within the opposition is going to take a lot of maturity, a lot of respect for everyone's view, because we chose democracy, because we are proud of our country, that you can actually belong to a party which has not to belong to yourself, and that you will have the freedom to wake up on election day, walk to the polling station, go into the booth and vote for a leader you choose yourself. Not someone to come and tell you, Salome, make sure you choose so and so. All these things are things we are proud of. And so even sometimes when you see arguments, disagreements and so on, they are fine. I look at them from a positive point of view. I like them. Because that is what describes who we have now become. That is democracy. And when they happen, we take them in our stride. Even you, I want to tell you, my younger brothers and sisters, when you go to your various areas where you stay, your sub-counties, your locations, you will meet people who have different views about life. People who belong to other parties. Your responsibility is to convince them, argue with them, and argue them to your point. Don't tell them, in this sub-county, you can't belong to this party, you must belong to this party, or else you don't belong here. Honestly, I want to be a responsible leader and avoid using negative adjectives to describe that kind of behavior. We chose democracy in our constitution, which means you have a right to choose your party, and no one has a right or responsibility to choose a party for you. And you have a right to associate with whomever you please. I love you so much, and I want to spend so much time with you. I want to ask you as leaders, unajua kazi yoyote ukitaka kufanya, sio kazi unafanya tu nusu namna hii. Allow me to use an example that may not be very sensitive, but it's a reality of life. Unajua even when you are dating Dr. msichana, huwezi kukutana na yeye mara moja kwa wiki and then you hope that that is the way you are going to succeed. Mara mna gani? Lazima ukarakaa hapo, mara mna gani ba? Wana hivi anasema, lazima ukarakaa hapo, mvua ikinyesha unaonekana uko hapo. Wanasema unampatia ka jacket wakati mvua imenyesha. Unajua wali ka ice cream kanapatikananga. Unaimba manyimbo fulani hivi. Andika tu poems fulani hapo. Nasema maneno hapo na quote vitu hapo, ingine natakuwa si ya kweli lakini ya kukusaidia uende mbele. So Mnajua hii maneno. Sasa hata mimi nataka kuwa namna hii. Ninataka kukaa tu hapa. Ukinipangia mambo yangu, natembea hapa na kina Salome hivi. Angel ndio wananionyesha vile hii dunia iko. Alafu tufanye maneno, tukifika wakati huo tuko tayari. Maana namna gani? Ya, basi tutarudi siku nyingine ndani. Alafu tukakaa hapa. Tutaendelea kudance. Na vitu kama hizo sababu inaonekana hiyo ndio kitu hiyo hata mimi ambaye siko zoea hiyo maneno huko mbeleni nimeanza kuipenda siku hizi. Inaonekana ni kitu mzuri, sio kitu mbaya. Hiyo ni kitu mzuri sana. Ama namna gani? Namna hiyo sasa tutaongeza ingine kuendelea mbele. Ujuzi haupatikani baada ya siku moja ama mbili. Kama namna gani madam? Amesema hivyo. Sema ujuzi unakuzwa. So I wish you all the best. We'll meet again. Please, we love our country so much not to allow any divisions or any distractions and so on. Let us register now in Jubilee as the NDC decided. Massive registration here at the grassroots leaders. Let us drive the registration now to Jubilee. Prepare ourselves for elections of the party. And I want to assure you, I want to earn your support. I'll work with you. Mimi nitaingia kwa kila kijiji na ninakuja kuwaomba kwanza kula ya Jubilee mkubali niwe candidate wenu. Nitakuja sababu nyinyi ndio members ndio mnasema. Mimi sitaki tuende kufanya mchezo hapa na pale mtu afikiri mimi ni goigoi mtu wa kulala huko kupewa vitu. Mimi nitakuja tukae na nyinyi munipange vizuri na nyinyi tupangane tukubaliane. I like what that good man said. We need to agree even what we are going to do together. By the way, what you said is not negative. You know, we need to even agree kwa MOU itakuwa namna gani. What kind of government are we going to form? Sisi nikuja kujifanya hapa, alafu ikifika wakati huo serikali nusu ni wazee. And so bwana tunakubaliana hapa hii kaunti zetu zile tutarani Cairo kama tunapata governor or what kind of management we are going to have as a party. Tunasema Jubilee ni chama ya vijana and it must be reflected in the character and in the structure and the leadership and profile that emerges from this exercise as we go forward. Tusiwe watu wa kusema maneno ya uongo. Tutaenda mbele namna hiyo. Mimi nitakuja niwaombe kule kwanza ya Jubilee nisaidie siku ile ya nomination, nipate nomination yenu rasmi as your candidate. Alafu hiyo ya mbele si tutaenda na nyinyi pamoja. Tukiwa tuko pamoja kwa hiyo kitu tunaweza kushinda kweli. Bwana, kwanza nyinyi mna deni. Sawa nyinyi ndio mliniita nikaacha kazi yangu mzuri nikakuja huku. Sasa mniambie eti mliniita nikakuja hapa kupoteza mbao. Ama namna gani? Sawa. God bless you.